Hi everyone. So today's blog post is going to be about building up a multilingual form using Nintex forms. What we're really trying to do is accomplish a single form that we have with a bunch of translations that a user can select based on their user profile and what languages they would like to see. What you see here is a leave request. Just a stock standard what everybody's used to. You've got your leave type, your description, start time, end time. With Nintex Forms, you've got your button on the ribbon. You click on that button and it'll build out the form for you. You pretty much have left the design as is and didn't really customize it too much. All I've really added is a single button, single drop-down control that's going to have all the languages that I support, and you can see that right there. The other thing I've done is these are the labels that I want to update: the title, the leave type, etc. I need to differentiate those labels somehow. So what I've done is I've opened up the configuration of each of those labels. I've gone to the formatting and I've added an extra CSS class. Now the CSS class itself doesn't need to exist. We're just going to reference it. So for this one it's ML title. If I go to my description, I have ML description. And that's really all I need to do for the visual part of this particular form. Now if we jump back to all the translations, I have a translation list in SharePoint called NF translations, and you'll see all those CSS class names that I had. I've got the translation, so for title, English, it's going to be title, and you can see there's ENUS, which is English American. And then I also have the same sort of CSS class name here, but it's got the Spanish version, and I also have the Brazilian Portuguese as well. Now looking back at the form, the way I decided to do this is via JavaScript. So if I jump to my form settings, I've got a bunch of JavaScript in here. So what this is doing is actually making queries to the SharePoint user profile service to find the current user's languages, and also pulling out some other information and then updating the controls and maybe adding an event handler to when somebody selects a different language, and then updating the appropriate labels. Also, I have under advanced, I have a bunch of JavaScript files that I've added. Now I'm using the SPAPI JavaScript library. It's a whole bunch of JavaScript files. And if you have a look in my JS library, here they are available. I've put them in a library so that it makes it easy for me to use these in other Nintex forms. You might ask, why didn't I just use the normal SharePoint JavaScript library that just comes with SharePoint? I had some issues with the user profile part of it, so I decided to use that, this SPAPI library. And that's really all there is to it. I mean, I will actually put all the JavaScript onto my blog post. I'll actually have this form available for you to download, and you'll be able to try this out. You can add other languages. In my example, I actually am logged in as a user called Eden, and he supports English and Spanish, and so that's what I did. And I also added a Brazilian Portuguese translation as well, to just demo this out to make sure that this works at runtime. But this is one way of doing this. There's also another blog post by my colleague Dan Stoll, and you'll see a link to that at the top of my blog post. That is actually right here. So this is another way of doing the multi-language form. It's actually using a lookup function that's available in version 2.2 of Nintex Forms 2013. So if you haven't seen this post, definitely I encourage you to go and have a look at it. I'll have a link, like I said, at the top of my post, and follow that and have a look at a way of doing this in a non-JavaScript way. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video and read my blog post, and feel free to add any comments or any questions at the bottom of the post. Thanks very much.